Yay, it's my favorite drama to cover. You guys know the drill. GeorgeNotFound and Katie Bugs. Now, I wasn't initially going to respond because I had already made up in my mind that, Katie was a liar at the end of the day. But I felt like the response was just too juicy not to respond to myself. So in this video, we're going to break down her newest response, and I'm not going to make any more promises of whether I will or I won't. I'm just going to see where this rabbit trail goes from here. So I'm going to start off by playing some clips that I think are relevant and just talk about them and debrief what is going on with the situation as it follows. So let's get into it. Now, when I saw this, oh my lord, dude. I worded myself poorly, but my final thoughts nonetheless. I knew that this was going to be full of juice, and I just knew that what she was about to say was going to be a dumpster fire. But yeah, let's get into it, and I'll give you my thoughts on the situation.
This thing that I want to clear up, it is fucking sexual assault, okay? I'm not gonna apologize, say that it isn't sexual assault, that I'm not a sexual assault victim. The touching that he has admitted to many times is touching. That he admitted to not asking or getting my consent before he did. He felt up my tits on a couch with other people there. He stuck his hand up my shirt, under my bra, and felt up, fondled, whatever you want to say. He felt up my tits. Unwanted sexual touch is literally in the definition of sexual assault. It's fucking sexual assault, and I'm never gonna apologize for saying it is, okay?
Well, dang, all the clips I've seen of you and all the texts I've read about you, you were crying and you were sad, and now you're burning with the passion of rage. And I just gotta say, what a change of heart to all this. I'm starting to feel the more Katie talks, the more just new information and the more randomness that comes out of her mouth for the situation. I mean, we did not know this, that, you said before in your original stream, he just stuck his hand up your shirt. Not the other thing that you said, that I can't say it out loud because reasons. But anyways, you said before that he just stuck. You're explaining new information that you did not say before. Like, come on, dude. Look, if this was such a big deal 2 weeks ago, why didn't you say it 2 weeks ago? I mean, I said before when I last made a video on this that even if Katie came out with an argument that was half decent, like, I don't think I would believe it, because the first time she tried to come out with all this should have been brought up 2 weeks ago when this was a brand new and possibly dangerous situation. Now it's just like background information. Like, it's almost like it doesn't even matter.
Okay? It isn't fake allegations. It's not fake allegations. I'm not a liar. Quite literally, the thing that I was talking about is my sexual assault. And that's the one thing he confirmed. He can sit there and confirm that he did it. And I'm still sat here, getting called a liar, getting called a fake victim, getting called, what was it, a slut and a prude at the same time. And quite frankly, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm not gonna stand down. Luckily, I'm not scared to say it anymore. That's it. It's sexual assault.
Okay, well, no one was denying the fact that it was not sexual assault. It's just you presented your case in such a way that it felt more like a horse trail story than an actual sexual assault story. And I'm not trying to, like, victim blame here, but man, if you were, like, down to the core burnt on this, you would have done a much better job presenting your case. Like, let's just go ahead and put it out there. I have had a rough weekend as a content creator. I have been sexualized. I've been sexually harassed this weekend. It's not been one of the most fun weekends of being a content creator. And the thing is, too, I could put out the proof right now of what it is, which I'm not going to talk about that because it's not this video, and I'm not planning on making a video addressing it because I don't want to give this person attention for what they did, because it was obviously, oh, haha, I'm going to grab you in moment. It's meant to get my attention, but I'm not giving them that attention. I'm just using it as an example. They tried to sexualize me, and they tried to do stuff, and I'm underage. I am not above the age of consent whatsoever. So, the thing is, If I was going to present that case, I would present all the chat logs. First off, I wouldn't even wait to make a second response. I would present everything the first time without fail. And now I'm starting to understand a little bit better why Dream made such a long video. He wanted to make sure, set in stone, cold-blooded, that there was no other way to take it. Now, with Dream's situation, it's a bit different because people are not really adamant to like him for whatever reason. And I mean, I feel like it's just, I don't know, it's just like Jelly Bean. It was a popular thing to hate when it happened. But if I was going to make the case, I would make the case. I wouldn't drag this out like you have, because you've dragged it out over around 2.5 weeks. You've made 3 different response videos at this point. Why wasn't all of this in the first response? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Now, George did say something that kind of incriminated him. He said he stuck his hand up there and confirmed he did it, which is a little creepy if you're trying to prove your innocence, you know what I mean? But I feel like the more he spiels, she spiels something else that just completely throws us off another end. She's trying to make him look bad. She's trying to drag his name through the mud. And that's why she keeps bringing up more information that was never told before. It's shocking. It's supposed to make the viewer feel bad. But it's a manipulation, because this is what she's done before. She expands on the thought later once he's responded, rather than doing the smart and mature thing, which is to say it all first, let him respond, and let the audience decide. I don't know why it's so hard for content creators now, especially. I guess it's because it's an attention grab now to get people's attention and, you know, believe the victim. Because there's this whole thing going around on Twitter right now where you and a bunch of Twitter users, you could just make up the most BS allegations ever, and we're supposed to believe the victim now. I'm sorry, what? In court, you are innocent until proven guilty. And the internet is treating these weirdos like they're guilty until proven innocent. And they're not even giving them a chance to be proving themselves innocent. Now, obviously, this has been very well shown in the fact that people are still hating on GeorgeNotFound. You've still got these Twitter smooth brains who think GeorgeNotFound didn't do anything. I'm not denying the fact that he didn't or did do anything. I'm just saying Caitis' side of the argument is starting to fall apart. It's starting to fall apart more than when I drop my Legos on the ground. That's how bad it is. I can't deny that it's not that bad. George's argument, he was calm, he was collected, and he put it together in a way that made sense. Caitis', it's just all over the floor in terms of not making sense.
Anything to say anymore, because I mean, I was reading my own story on Twitter, and I was reading it, and I didn't even know it was my story they were talking about until they said my name, because of how skewed everything's gotten. It's like this huge game of telephone, where each time it gets a little bit more off, but no one's acknowledging that they could have heard wrong, and they're yelling what they heard as loud as possible. Okay, people saying I'm trying to ruin a man's career because he tickled me, or especially, he did not.
You want to know why this is getting more skewed, and you're saying it's a game of telephone? It's because you're playing the game of telephone. You're the chess master here, and you're making this a lot more complicated than it needs to be. Like I've said before, you could have came out with all the information laid across perfectly the first time. And what I think has happened is you've let people skew your perception of this event. He was not tickling you. I don't know what happened. I was not there. But I feel like I said before, your story does not make sense. You say you're playing a game of telephone and just going back and forth. And you said even yourself, he did not rape me. But the way you made it sound, bro, I mean, come on. You said you didn't rape him, sure. We didn't think he did. But, I mean, you said it right there so confidently that, none of this is true. You said you're not trying to bring him down. Girl, I think you are, and you just don't care, and you just don't realize how bad. Even if you have no self-awareness, I think at this point, you're trying to bring him down because you've made 3 responses. This should have only been a one-take Timmy, and then maybe another, offhanded, calm, cool, collected stream where I just respond to it for the heck of it. This should have only taken 1 try, and you're on your 3rd. So, what's the deal here, girl? Are you the one playing telephone, or is the internet and the Twitter degenerates playing telephone? It's you and the Twitter degenerates. Pick up the lines here, man.
If you're gonna say something, if you're gonna hate me, that's fine. Watch my full video and then choose.
Bro, I've watched your full video, and I've watched all this controversy unfold, and I've watched every every single bit of everything that I can. And with all the respect I have left for you after covering this entire controversy, I still don't believe you. I still don't believe you.
Something I'm fully owning up to and clearing up right now. The screenshot my recent response on Twitter, this is the only kind of like response thing I'm gonna give, I will acknowledge. That was a complete miscommunication. There's a screenshot I said was from his friends that wasn't there for the assault, mentioned our ages, and acknowledged, the situation was weird. It's a real screenshot. What I got wrong and what was miscommunicated was who it was from. It was actually from, instead of the guy who left or wasn't there for the assault, it was from the girl who wasn't there for the assault. Which I acknowledge is frustrating that I got that wrong, and I didn't realize I got it wrong until after I posted it a long time after. And obviously when I don't come out and say, oh, I got that wrong, when he's the one to come out and say she got that wrong, it makes that into the biggest...
The big deal? The big deal? Come on. Here's the big deal, and I'm gonna give it to you in the nicest way I know how. I'm gonna serve you a spoonful of truthful fudge. That didn't really make any sense, but just roll with it for a second. Why did you not check over your information before you sent it out into the world? Bruh. Like I said about my exposing, if I, did decide to go after this person that was behind this, I would make sure that my information is fact, not fiction. Because when you do that, and he said it for you because he said she got mad over that, you can't get mad over that, bruh. You're the one that messed up, and you've got to own up to that. And the thing is, like I said before, I've said it a million times already, this should have been a one and done deal, and your side of the story should have been presented in the most entire way you knew how. You needed to back check all the information, because now, after hearing you say that, it makes me think your perception has been skewed just that much more, and it makes me have less respect for you. My respect for you is draining by the second. The more you talk, the less I respect you, because that is how much crap is coming out of your mouth. You're starting to make less and less sense, which is what happened after your initial response to everything. Start telling the truth. It will help you further from here.
I will always, if I could do this all over, I would do it all again, because the amount of viewers of mine and the viewers that aren't of mine that have reached out to me saying they understand and that they feel safe now to accept what's happened to them. Not even safe to come out about their stories, because you don't have to come out about your story. You don't have to yell it off the rooftops to heal from it, But again, it is a big help. It creates this open discussion of these hard things to talk about. That's why I came out about my story. Not to, and again, I know it sounds hypocritical, and I'm acknowledging that, and I did things I probably shouldn't have with making it this drama kind of thing on Twitter by replying and being, but yeah. Again, I came out with my story. It's fine if you don't believe me. And it's also really fine if you don't understand me. You don't understand why I did. You don't understand why I couldn't have stood up in the moment and ran out of the room. It's fine if you don't understand, because the story isn't for you. It's for people victims who understand my thought process. My first stream wasn't, this is all the bad stuff that this person did, go kill them. It was me describing my experience with assault that happened to me, and then acknowledging it, actually realizing, shit, this is something that happened to me, and I can't ignore it. And accepting it. It was about my journey as a victim, and I fully understand not many people to understand that kind of journey. And even if you are a victim and don't understand me, you don't have to have the same situation to still be a victim. So I understand that as well. My story was meant for people who chose to believe me, not because of proof or because I have video of it or because of any of that, but because they've experienced it themselves and they recognize it. They recognize what I've went through, and they recognize that I'm sincere about it. I feel like the whole situation, the way it played out, has been very unfair. But what's most unfair is what he did to me in the first place. There's that. I'm tired of the constant fight of trying to validate what I went through, to validate and prove that I was uncomfortable. I'm tired with it all, honestly. But again, I would still do it all over again, because I don't want people to view that as me like bowing out and, because I bit more than I can chew. I'm still here, but I'm just not gonna apologize for what I've went through. I know there may be more after this, more, people trying to get the final word, or like people, responding to what I've said. But this is my final thought on it all.
Guys, I think she's officially lost it. I really do. Or is it just me? Because this is just a bunch of bull. Like, it's all bull. You would do it over 1,000 times again. That is not something a victim would say. Doing what you went through again 1,000 times over, coming out 1,000 times over again. No, I wouldn't wish what happens to someone like this upon my worst enemy. Just because it's happened to you now and you feel like you can come out and make your creator space a safe space to talk about this, I wouldn't wish it upon. I like the fact that you're trying and everything and trying to make it a safe space for your community. But for anyone that is a real victim and can see through all this lies, you say people can see through you. No, they can't. What are you talking about? I genuinely don't think you understand. People cannot see through your emotions. And even victims that have went through this before, they still want to see your proof. You have the mindset that any old blowjo can come out with any piece of evidence against any big creator, and you're supposed to just believe them automatically. That's not how it works. Because if someone was to throw murder accusations at me that I killed this person, and they're just like, well, dang, we don't have any proof, but I don't care. 20 years in jail for murdering this guy. We have no proof, we have no case, but we have someone saying you did it, so go to jail. That's not how it works. We cannot start this on Twitter. If that is the last thing I do in my life, I do not want to see this become a big trend where people start canceling these big creators, or even myself, because I could get thrown in the mix of this too. I mean, I've got a smaller audience, and it can happen, but it can still happen. I'm in the Hypixel space. And I really don't want to see it become a reality where we have to step on eggshells with everybody, not just even creators, but just everybody, because, Twitter's a bad place, and it's been a bad place for a long time. Might just be better just to ban Twitter altogether, guys. Let's start a petition of ban Twitter, or just ban Twitter kids. Now they start flooding other platforms. But I'm being serious here in a, more methodical sense. This can't happen. This needs to stop, and it needs to stop here now. Katie, really all she did to most people that can see through the lies, and she says you need to don't need to seek validation or anything from this. What you're doing is you're impressionalizing that it is okay to just come out and talk about things without proof. You're like Maximama, where he was doing the exact same thing and people called him out. And this is the exact same situation that's happening with Katie. We need to call these people out, because we cannot have people spreading lies of abuse and spreading these lies of everything. I'm not saying it did or it didn't happen to you, but the fact of the matter is you presented your case in such a bad way that even if it was 100% true, I still don't think I could trust you. My dad taught me very well, you're only as good as your word. And if your word is crap, then you're most likely, your entire story is just crap. You should have presented it in a better way to begin with. And at this point, your final words and what you said at the beginning with your tweet, that your final words were worded kind of messy. I didn't expect the amount of crap that came out of your mouth through this entire thing. And I've sat through it, and this is just the best bits. Because pretty much from here, it's just debunking claims and all this, but it all stems back to the same point. You did a piss poor job at what you initially should have done, which was to explain your side and give your thoughts, and do it with evidence, not just your word, because I don't know you, and I never watched you, and probably will never again after this. And I can't, and the thing is, you shouldn't believe me unless I provide proof of something. That's literally how it works. In school, if you're writing an essay and you just say something, your teacher will knock you points off of that essay if you don't provide proof. So why does Twitter and more things that are bigger than school, that logic doesn't apply? Like, come on, man. That's like, school taught me something. It also taught me how to network, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts down below on all this. This kind of actually made me mad to sit through and watch all this. So yeah, I'm gonna not get those hours of my life back after watching that and covering this entire situation. I guess the only thing that's good is it's got me watch hours at the end of the day. Hopefully you guys just, I don't know, just have a good day, subscribe to the channel, and see you later. Bye.